It's that time again. King Skorch, the Realist, football WFT guru on this digital streets. I got a great show for you tonight, early this morning, and we're going to get at it. If you read the title, you know what time it is. And this time, we're going to go in depth. I was going to do a quick one, real quick, try to get in and out. You know how I like to do. And then I said, well, this one might be a little bit more difficult. I might have to take my time with this one because I actually want to do this one the right way. So by the time y'all wake up, you should have all the answers. And then by the time game time come Monday night, we'll have all of the questions answered, I should say. So I wanted to get in this one by reading off and running off the Washington player stats. I've been hearing a lot of cap, whole lot of cap going on about the team, about this player, this coach, that coach. And I just feel like, let me just go ahead and get this out of the way by reading the actual stats. Because everybody's quick to read PFF. Everybody's quick to read and make an excuse for this and this and that. And I said, let me just go to the numbers, right? The real actual numbers. Since evidently a lot of y'all can't tell what football is. A lot of y'all can't actually tell what you're seeing versus what's actually happening. And then the cap that I'm hearing from a lot of this content creators out here is getting a bit overwhelming. So I stopped listening to you guys. I stopped. I'm done listening. And I said, let me just run the numbers. Taylor Heineke, 2390 as of right now, Sunday morning. Okay? 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 266 yards a game. He's been sacked 22 times. So we'll get into those types of numbers. 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions through 10 games. So that's basically an interception a game, which means a turnover a game. I want y'all to keep that in mind as we run off these rushing stats because this one was a bit surprising. And I don't want to come at this looking like I'm down in the team. I'm just going to read the numbers. And then I'll let you know what the realist thinks about the numbers. And I want to do this fast, and yet I want to do it right because I want to actually give the actual numbers before I actually give the reality or the realist perspective of said numbers. Antonio Gibson, 10 games played, 154 attempts, 601 yards rushing, 3.9 yards averaged, 5 touchdowns, and the big one for me, 5 fumbles, 3 lost. Okay. J.D. McKissick, 10 games played, 41 attempts, right? 182 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, no fumbles lost. Jared Patterson, 10 games played, 31 attempts, 104 yards, no touchdowns, no fumbles lost. You say, well, what's the point? Well, let me give you Taylor's numbers. 10 games, 45 attempts, 276 yards rushing, 6.1 yard average, 1 touchdown, 3 fumbles, 0 lost. So my point with that is the two people that hold and maintain or touch the ball the most have actually the most fumbles, with the running back losing 3 out of the 5. So I'm not really big on numbers myself. I go by what I see. I go by how's your demeanor after you lose said fumbles, that sort of thing. And I've been watching a lot of content in terms of film. I've been watching these guys, these press conferences, how they're looking, demeanor, and I'll get to that in just a second. Let me run off receiving yards, because like I said, demeanor is playing a big part in how I'm going to really give my realist perspective based on what I just saw, because I just watched a couple of press conferences from Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin, who, by the way, receiving yards is 735 as of right now, right? As of right now, leading obviously the team in receptions, 54 yards, 54, receptions, 13.6 yard average, 5 touchdowns for your leading best player on the team. He's only got 5 touchdowns, 0 fumbles. So he obviously knows how to hold on to the rock, if you will. J.D. McKissick, 38 receptions. So second, your running back. Not even your starting running back. Your backup running back is the second leading receiver on your team. Picture that. 9.8 yards average. He's got just 1 receiving touchdown. And the bigger key, no fumbles lost. So Adam Humphries. I'm hearing a lot about Humph. And I just heard Danny Johnson just speak about Humph in a high regard in terms of, he helps us learn how to get in and out of press coverage, and he's really crafty in zone and this and this and that. Okay, well, he's really crafty. 23 receptions, 255 yards, 11.1 yards average with 0 touchdowns. That's productive. That's certainly productive. 0 touchdowns in 10 games played. Wow. All right. Ricky Seals-Jones, 23 receptions, 230 yards with 2 touchdowns. And this is your second string, I guess now, tight end, right? DeAndre Carter, 10 games played, 14 receptions, 15.6 yards average with 3 touchdowns. No fumbles lost in terms of receiving. Antonio Gibson, 19 receptions, 158 yards, 1 touchdown. No fumbles, actually, at least in terms of receiving. So Logan Thomas, 12 receptions, 14 targets, 117 yards, and obviously he's been hurt. He's got 2 touchdowns. I mean, really, do I really need to go on? I mean, I really can. De'Ami Brown, 8 receptions, 81 yards, no touchdowns. Cam Sims, 7 receptions, 81 yards, 1 touchdown. Dax Milne, 7 receptions. I mean, you can look at these yourself in terms of gauging what the stats say. My point with this is I don't see any superstars on this team in terms of receiving. I don't see any in terms of rushing. And you say, well, King, it's only 10 games. You got to let them finish it out. Finish what out? I mean, please, by all means, you mathematicians out there, do the math for me, okay? Divide, add, whatever you need to do in terms of coming up with what you think the numbers are going to say for the end of the season, or even not even the end of the season, heading into Monday night's game. Because I just don't see it. I don't see where they're going to magically come out with great games or big time games. I don't see anybody catching over, 4 or 5 passes in the game. And from what I'm understanding, Curtis might be back. Now, I'll go to demeanor before I even run to the defense. Demeanor-wise, right? I just watched Antonio Gibson. Anytime you watch Antonio Gibson that he's not scoring a touchdown, he's got a kind of, oh yeah, that kind of look, I want a running back that's like, I can't wait to get out there. I can't wait to run over somebody. I can't wait to, give it to somebody, break somebody like he actually did last game. I saw him give somebody that. But once again, you fumbled. You got benched. And then they brought you back. And then you can't read or keep your head in the game, in which case now you get tackled out of bounds, stopping the clock. Like I said, I just don't see what everybody else sees when they say, we've got talent. These guys are working hard. Yes, you're NFL paid players. You should be working hard. You should be practicing hard. You should be making studying game film and making the adjustments during the week. You've got all week to make them. My point with this is, I still don't see the star talent. I just don't see it. I could keep reading off pedestrian numbers, and yet I don't see why I need to. Curtis Samuels, 4 receptions, 19 yards, obviously no touchdowns. John Bates, 8 receptions. Did that say 8 yards? No, 59 yards, no touchdowns. My point is, there's no productivity in terms of touchdowns. So once again, production to me is the biggest telltale of what's actually happening. Then I look at the demeanor of the players. I can't find anybody who's enthusiastic. Then I saw Terry's press conference. Terry has a different look about him now. He looks like this is his squad. He looks like he's ready to take the next step. And in my opinion, I think he needs a quarterback to do that. We got some more content coming where we're going to run through some quarterbacks that hopefully can come in here, that we're projecting ahead to hopefully bring in here. Because once again, I'm just not sold on Taylor. Yes, I understand he's had 2 good games. These are against 2 teams that, to me, Tampa Bay struggled. I think they, really pretty much overlooked this, for lack of a better word. And I think Carolina actually, in all intents and purposes, underestimated what Cam and what the rest of the team were going to bring to the table. So for me, those were 2 pedestrian games that they won. Well, we're so strung up for having them win a game that we look at those games like, well, they won them. Who really cares? They won 2 games that, okay, you've got 4 wins? 4 and 6? That's something to be proud of? I mean, in actuality, if you think about it, they win another game or 2, that pushes them back in terms of draft prospect that we could probably bring in here to actually maybe possibly help the team. At this point, though, who can really help this team other than a whole, in my opinion, rehaul? So I've gone through the numbers. I've gone through the guys that's on the team. Logan Thomas might come back. So what? Do you really have confidence in Samuels coming back and Logan coming back and them not getting hurt? What do you do when they get hurt again? You look at John Bates. You look at Ricky Seals. You say, next man up. See, these are the kind of things that you hear when there's actually no hope in sight or no insight for hope. You hear, well, next man up. These guys are working hard. We're making adjustments. That's what you hear. I haven't even gotten to the defense yet. My last video, I actually left out somebody that I was looking forward to talking about, and I didn't really get a chance because I didn't even see his name on the roster, which was Tim Settle. And then I look at his numbers as of this year, and I'll start off with him just because I just brought him up. Tim Settle, 10 games played, literally has four 4 solo tackles with 7 assisted. No, excuse me, 7 total tackles, evidently, 4 solo. That sounds like a guy that's ready to take over. That sounds like a guy that's ready to take the next step. Does that even sound like a starter? No. So that kind of set the tone for me when I started looking at the rest of these numbers. And I like I said, I'm going to be easy on how I'm coming at these guys in terms of what I'm looking at versus what I feel about them. Cole Holcomb. I've been telling y'all, Cole's this, Cole's that. Let me look at the numbers. The numbers say 54 solo tackles, 34 assisted tackles, and 88 total tackles. That's what the numbers say. 1 sack, right? And to me, the biggest number, 2 forced fumbles. So is that a playmaker? In all honesty, on this team, yeah, that's a playmaker. And yet, I'm looking at everybody else. Your $16 million man in Landon Collins. Your second year, pretty much rookie, Cameron Curl. Your Super Bowl free agent, Kendall Fuller, right? Your rookie, Jamin Davis. Your journeyman, McCain, Bobby McCain, who, by the way, has 2 interceptions. Like I said, I'm not seeing anything. And once again, I haven't even mentioned Sweat. I haven't mentioned Payne. I haven't mentioned Young. So Allen. So here we go. John Allen. 18 solo tackles, 16 assisted, 34 total, right? 6 sacks in 10 games. And I keep hearing people talk about Pro Bowl. That's a Pro Bowler? Really? No, his contract is Pro Bowlish. I think it was 70-something million. Yeah, that's Pro Bowlish. But 6 sacks to me isn't Pro Bowl. You've been here, what, 4 years, 5 years? That's not that. I don't. Is that what is that? The best season you've ever had? And like once again, I like Jonathan Allen. Please, I really do. I'm just not seeing Pro Bowl with 6 sacks. But when you have the most sacks out of Daron Payne, 2.5 sacks, Chase Young, 1.5 sacks, who obviously is going to be out for the rest of the season. Matthew Ioannidis, who's actually the second highest paid guy on the defensive line, right? With a 0.5 sack. My point with this is you've got all these guys who are supposed to be these stars and these guys who are getting these second contracts, and yet I don't see the production. I don't see it. Everybody's got 10, 8, 9, 10 games played. Benjamin St-Juste, your rookie, 20 solo tackles, 26 total tackles, and that's it. Who's got the forced fumbles? Chase Young's got 2 forced fumbles. Chase Young, 15 solo tackles. I mean, like I said, the numbers are here. So I really don't want to go through these pedestrian numbers. James Smith-Williams, I'm just pulling 6 total, 6 solo with 18 total tackles, 1.5 sack. Casey Toohill, I called him a token. Are these actual starter numbers, or are these the numbers he got when he's on special teams? So my point with all of this is you've Kaliki Hudson, 2 tackles, 5 total. DeShazer Everett, 2 tackles, 4 total. Terry McLaurin has 3 solo tackles himself. Why? Is that because of Taylor Heineke throwing interception after interception after interception? So my point is when you sit here and tell me, or I hear, oh, these guys are turning the corner. They're in a 2-game winning streak. I don't want to sound like the guy that's sitting here saying, well, these guys are trash and that sort of thing. Are they playing hard? I can't tell. I really can't. Do the numbers say they're playing hard? Really? Please, I would love for somebody to tell me that the numbers say that these guys are playing hard, that the wins are translating into them playing hard, because I just don't see it. So with all of this being said, I ran off the numbers that I think Jamin Davis, your other rookie, right? This is your other rookie, right? Jamin Davis. 30 tackles, 43 total. Like I said, I just don't see the numbers. I'm looking at them, and nothing is jumping out at me saying, hey, this guy's a stud, this guy's a Pro Bowl, this guy's a superstar, this guy deserves another contract. None of these numbers are screaming that to me. With all of this being said, with really, literally all of this being said, I look at what are you going to do come tomorrow, Monday? Because Monday we have a Seattle team that's coming in here, and they're struggling. That's actually a bad team. And yet, what's the one thing they have that we don't? A Hall of Fame quarterback. Super Bowl winning quarterback. Russell Wilson. That right there, to me, changes the whole dynamic. And to be honest with you, I don't even need to give you my predictions and all that. To me, it's irrelevant. It really is. They're both bad teams. Who's got the edge? Well, to be honest, if you look at it, we probably have the edge. I say we, being the WFT, probably has the edge. You're playing at home. You're playing a struggling Seattle team. Russell Wilson has shown right now that he doesn't run anymore. However, he's got a Tyler Lockett on that side, and he's got a DK Metcalf on that side. And if he gets out of that pocket for some kind of inch away, some kind of way, he can get it down the field to either one of those, and they could literally take it to the house each and every time. Am I worried about the run game? No, not at all. Not at all. I actually think our D-line can get some pressure, even with these edge rushers that we have. My point with all of this is it's still Russell Wilson. There's no telling what kind of Russell is going to come out. If you looked at him last game, he looked a little off. He looks scary sometimes. He's holding the ball. However, his arm is live. His arm is pinpoint accurate. And when he wants to, he can pick you apart if he has time. So my point with this is what do you see coming? What do you see happening? Well, in all honesty, I'll be at the game. So you make sure you look out for Mr. King Skorch somewhere in that arena, somewhere in that stadium, and we can sit there and chop it up while we watch our WFT, while we watch Russell Wilson either pick apart that secondary or he's going to get sacked 4 or 5 times because he literally holds the ball. So if you ask me who's going to win, I'm going to say whoever doesn't hold the ball the longest. Is that safe enough to say? Because we all know Taylor will hold the ball. I just don't know if their defense has enough pressure or enough talent on their team to actually get pressure on Taylor. Our offensive line, I didn't even mention them. Why? For what? For what? What are they going to run down the throat of Seattle? Possibly. But with the Antonio Gibson fumbling literally 1 out of every other game, right? Who knows what kind of Antonio Gibson is going to show up? Who knows what kind of Taylor Heineke is going to show up? Is he due to throw another 2 or 3 interceptions? Well, why don't you do this? Why don't you come down to the game? Because I'll literally probably be the only content creator there at the game. Because I'm actually in the city that I actually commentate and create content for. I'm literally the only one that's probably going to be there. So y'all make sure y'all look out for me, Mr. King Skorch. I will be in the building. I will be there. Y'all make sure y'all come out and check me. I look forward to seeing y'all. Like I said, I'm not going to give any predictions on what I think the score is going to be and all that. I actually think if they play a mistake-free game, which, is not really saying too much, they can win. Not only win, they'll win big. I think if they get pressure on Russell, it'll get ugly, and it'll get ugly quick. The problem with that really is they're going to have to actually get the pressure. And if they don't get the pressure, Russell could literally pick them apart. He's got the receivers to do it. He does not have the running game to do it. So make sure you come down. Check me out. Make sure you come down. Say hey, take some pictures. If you find me, I'm not going to be just sitting there saying, hey, look at King Skorch. No. I will be somewhere in that building looking just like you, making sure that I see what I'm reading versus what I'm reading and everybody is saying. I know that didn't make sense. I'm going to say it again. I want to make sure that I'm seeing now with my own two eyes in person what I just read to you. Because like I said, I'm not sold. I'll be sold when I see it Monday night. Y'all make sure y'all come out and check me out. King Skorch, the realist WFT football guru in these digital streets. Yeah? Yeah.